brothers have a warehouse in the industrial district off of Manitou Street. The Porcelli family have meetings at the top of the dust car garage near downtown. The East Side dogs are the ones I would take care of first. They're a real problem when it comes to our neighborhood. Good luck. See ya.
What's going on, everybody? Today in this video I'm going to be showing you all a full playthrough of my open world city map called Welcome to Canton City. This map is available on the PC in the Far Cry arcade. For those of you who are unable to play this map if you don't have a PC, I hope you enjoy this full playthrough. I also hope you all enjoyed that little intro. I was trying to do something unique in this map and how I showcased it, and I was going to have a little storyline with some cutscenes here and there. I'll include just a couple other cutscenes just to show you guys what I was trying to do, but it didn't work out in the end, so oh well. But anyways, let's continue on. So we have 4 different loadouts for the player. We have the Explorer for those who are interested in exploring the map thoroughly. You'll find weapons that way. We have a drive-by loadout, single-hand weapons only, silence loadout, and then we have the last loadout called No Challenge. Originally, it was going to be called Spoon-Fed, but I thought that would have been a little too mean. But basically, that loadout has like a rocket launcher, I think a sniper, and you know, all sorts of throwables and gear. So we just left the safe house. There was a little sign back there that said Assault Gang Operations. And the gang operations are marked on the map with the objective markers. We're also showing the player where to go to get ammunition, as well as where weapons will potentially spawn. It's a little bit more clear explained later. There's also a couple of gun shops in the map as well. Alright, so I chose the Explorer class, or loadout. Perfect Dark, 1982 Street. One thing I wanted to do in this map was give streets their individual name. In Caminos Street. And then I had this idea to, you know, include map editors' names instead of just some random name. Insane Artist Street right here. And it all started was I was wanting to kind of, you know, give a shout out to Steve64B, because without him and his mod, this map would not be possible. So I ended up giving Steve the main highway and the main bridge that goes over on the highway. And I was like, why stop there? I'll include other people's names. Unfortunately, I ran out of streets, so some people's names are on buildings and shops. This is the East Side Dogs gang, and this is where they hang out. This is the old train yard here. So not only do you have to assault these gang operations around the map, but once you're done, you then unlock missions that you can do. And each gang has, like, I think 5 or 6 missions. Except for the Porcelli family, their missions are... there's a little bit more for them, because they take up a pretty good percentage of the map. So we have the little dogs, or the attack dogs. Originally, I was going to make it to where you had to kill the attack dogs to clear out the area, but for any person that was playing the map that didn't want to kill the dogs or doesn't like killing the animals, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to force them to, in case they don't do it and then it messes up the scripting. So when you're done with a mission or you're done with a certain task, the whole screen turns green and the victory music for the arcade comes in. Being chased by a dog. Now, if you come up here and you look out towards the city and downtown, the frame rate drops a lot. But for the most part, it stays intact. There's a couple of little bit of laggy areas here and there, just happens on random. And it happened a lot during this gameplay, but I think that's mainly due to the fact that I was recording as well. And I was trying not to go into so much detail in the map. I mean, if you look at this train yard, you could easily add tons of more objects to really make it detailed. But I was trying not to do that because I knew I had to cover up this whole map in at least some sort of like basic detail. And even just doing the basic detail, the map is, you know, like 10 frames per second in the editor. Most of that's due to the AI. But when I was doing the cinematic shots, it was actually, it got up to maybe 20 frames per second. So this is the gun shop, and this gun shop is called Dennis Steinsley's Gun Shop. And this is where you can also find weapons or pick up weapons that you do find around the map. And you can customize them, so we have the shop feature in here. This is such a great feature, and I wish Ubisoft found a way to allow editors to put it in their custom maps, because you get this money from doing and playing custom maps when you beat custom maps, but it's only, you can only use it for the campaign. I have no desire to go play the campaign, so all this money just racked up over the years. $219,000 is what I have. But it would have been so much cooler to have these shops and custom maps, and you can actually spend this money. So unfortunately the weapons don't show up on the screen, so you're just going to have to do your customizations and then back out and see what the gun looks like. One thing I wanted to mention, the assault gang operations, or the gang operations, are marked on the map with the objective markers. However, that did change after I completed one of the gang operations. And then the objective markers then showed the player where the gun shop is. How I have that set up, and I don't remember how I have it set up, but it's set up to where no matter which gang operation the player does first, the gun shop will always still, or the gun shop marker will always still spawn, deleting the other two remaining gang operation objective markers. And once the player goes into the gun shop, then the gang operation objective markers do respawn. It was kind of tricky to get that set up. So this is the industrial district here, and I was about to be spotted by a Wolf Brothers gang member. We have, I think, DM and Dirty Heretic, Steel. Oh, we passed Izuli Street back there. Forgot to mention. Sunk Manitou 83 Street. In the intro, when the character DJ is saying that the Wolf Brothers warehouse is off of Manitou Street, that's what that's supposed to be referencing. Atlas Murphy 17 Streets that way, and then Heath Dredger Streets this way. So I had to split streets off because I wanted to have as many names as possible, but I still ended up running out of roads to name, and I ended up just choosing like random stores or random buildings. Big lag right there. So we have a day and night cycle. We also have rain that spawns in occasionally. There's a few nights that get really, really foggy as well. I like this bell behind me. When bullets hit it, it actually makes a little bong noise. At least I think it does. Because I know I came up here a few times when testing this map, and I was hearing some sort of bong bell noise. And I turned around and realized it was that. Whoa. I do wish I didn't put a lot of AI in these gang operation areas. The original inspiration for this map, I was actually playing Saints Row the Third Remastered. And there actually are these little side quests or side missions called gang operations. And you go there and there's a group of gangsters hanging out, making a deal or doing something, and you kill them all, and then you complete it. So I was like, you know what, I'll do that. I'll make a city, and I will have these gang operations. Well, then I was like, but I want to do missions too. So unfortunately, there's not a lot of gang operations, but you know, that's a good thing because, oh, Shangri-La Jedi Street down there. We have Turtle Street to the left here. Heath Dredger. And then we have Filthy Ebola Bridge. And then these God Rays spawn in only at night. And then there's downtown. I wanted to make the city look somewhat alive in the distance as well, using the military bunker lights, which I think are only available in Steve's mod, unfortunately. Fallen Ninja Avenue. We also have a Riknikov 13 tunnel. Not really a tunnel, but I haven't heard from a Riknikov in quite some time. I hope he's okay. AKA Footloose Street. This is where Footloose Street starts. Predator Back 1 Street right here. Now we're in downtown. Eddie 6120 Street to the left. And then we have a little diner up here, and I think that's Delta Pi Hotel over there to the left. Anyways, what was I talking about? I was talking about something over there in the industrial district, and then I lost my train of thought. Crud. Delta Pi Hotel. Oh yeah, gang operations and stuff. So anyways, I wanted to include the missions. And it's kind of a good thing I didn't do a lot of gang operations, because obviously this map is almost 2 hours if you do everything, you know, completing all the missions. There's actually supposed to be a mission up here, but I ended up, you know, just running out of space. Got an M249 though. Zero Cell Street. Canton City Bank is back there. Dr. Heckle Street. Back on AKA Footloose Street. Party Marty H Drum Shop. Party Marty H has a YouTube channel where he shows off his drumming skills. I thought that would be fitting to give him a drum shop. Predator Back 1 Street. Captain Hyde Site 0 Airport. And you can actually go in the airport. It's not anything big. But there is a train station up here. Okay, so I think I'm going to it. There's a mission phone booth. Okay, and then this is Eskimo NL. Did I read that right? Sorry if I said it wrong. Gameplay is going too fast. Trying to keep up. Dr. Heckle Street. Then we have Dapper Hayden Condos. And then Steve 64B's Highway is right here. This will take you back to the safe house. And I wanted this main road to have a lot of colors and lights on it. Footloose Club, Danny FPS gun shop there. Snow Cone 1990 Hotel. somebody was like, Snowcone 1990's made some great maps, you should put his name in your map. And I said, okay. So I did. And then this is Kemet 1976 Avenue, Mario D Street's there. Kemet, I hope you're doing great. Haven't heard from you in some time. Oyster Wallet Avenue's here. Duskworm 047 parking garage. This is where the Porcelli family has some meetings every now and then. And there's actually a sound volume in here. And if you listen closely, the sound of the four-wheeler sounds slightly different. Has that slight echo. And then sometimes they don't stay on their animation points. I should have made sure that they did. There's another way to get up here too. There's actually a grapple hook. Now the Porcelli family are well armed. Alright, then mission passed, screen turns green. And I think it's going to start turning daytime, but also rain is going to start pouring down. Whee! Genesis, MD, pawn shop. And we have CEDO 1 Avenue here. This is supposed to be kind of like a university or a campus area, college area. Kemet 1976 Avenue, it's this street here. And then we've got Tartan Pole Cat 61 Pub. Rusty Lex Park is right there, just behind me. Then we have the second train station here. There's actually going to be an actual train on the tracks that you'd have to kind of make your way to. Cork Tree Station. And you'd have to make your way to the train, and there'd be some gang members on that you have to clear out. Either that or there's going to be a target for a mission, I can't remember. Fallen Ninja Avenue. There's Rusty Lex Park there. St. Perkle Avenue. Then we have MK 101186 shop. The stores are shops that have names. I try to give them some decoration. Dad 1234 57th Street. Coming soon, Star Rider 333 Plaza. Gotta have a construction site. And then, let's see, Soltharis University. And then, I think the only name that's left is Killzone 3000 Bridge, which is a small drawbridge. Oh, Cold Blast. There's a billboard that has Cold Blast on it behind us. Cold Blast has some fantastic maps. Unfortunately, Cold Blast uses mods, so I don't know if there's any maps on console, or they have been ported over to console. If they have, check them out. Old Timer 1969 Street to the right. Jolin XBL 360 Street to the left. And now that we've killed enough AI, the game's going to allow AI characters to spawn on the sidewalks. So we just had that gang member spawn. And they'll try to shoot you. There's also a couple characters that are somewhat allies that try to help you out, but sometimes they'll start shooting at you too. So we have some thick fog to help along with the rain effects. And here's our first mission right here.
Hey, it's time to antagonize the East Side dogs some more. I think you should cruise around the neighborhood, find and beat down some of their members. There are a few groups that hang around. Those are the ones you should take out.
Alright, beat down East Side Dogs members. So that's pretty much what most of the cutscenes end up looking like through all the other missions. I guess I could still show the cutscenes, I just won't have the dialogue, I don't know. I haven't actually edited the entire video completely yet, so... That was an ally character. Sometimes she'll turn bad and start shooting at you. So we gotta beat down these gang members, and they're marked with the objective marker. I think we got all the names. See these sidewalks right here? If you are using these sidewalks, don't use them. They take up way too much object space. And if you're using Steve64B's editor mod, for some reason these sidewalks slow down the editor. When you're trying to save, it takes forever. When you're trying to hop back into the editor from testing the map, it takes forever. So don't use these sidewalks. I think they're watchdog sidewalks. Now I don't know if the slow performance exists in the vanilla editor. I don't think it does, because I know I used these sidewalks in the past before I had Steve64B's mod. But I was making my somewhat sequel to this map, Paradise City, and I was using these sidewalks, and I was like, why is this editor slow all of a sudden? And I noticed my object count was about to hit the budget, and I'm trying to keep that map under budget. I ended up deleting the sidewalks, and it ended up giving me like 4,000 or 5,000 object space. So these sidewalks take up a lot of space when you add them up. So if you're making a city map, avoid using them. They look great because they have the cracking and everything, and they look old, but use a generic shape. Or use another sidewalk. I would say use a generic shape, because if you can have a longer sidewalk, then great. So here we go, this is like the tutorial here. More missions are around the city, so you can explore around the city and try to find them. Fallen Champ Street, I don't know if I mentioned Fallen Champ. Finish map here when ready. So that's the extraction zone. We have a little icon there as well. And then guns for hire. You can walk into that door and 2 AI characters will spawn and follow you around and help you out. Guns you find around the map also spawn here. And that's the basement. You see I was trying to do this little cinematic thing. Break to unlock missions if you replay the map. So if you happen to die and you don't want to go through the gang operations all again, then you can break that flower pot and all the missions will immediately be unlocked. And you don't even have to replay missions that you already did. You can just go to another mission that you don't think you've done and do that one until you think you've done all of them. So yeah, if you use sidewalks for a map, use like a 200 width by 800 long or length generic shape and just give it a concrete texture. You'll save yourself a lot of object space. Alright, back in the gun shop. Now there's 2 gun for hire locations. There's the one in the cul-de-sac next to the safe house. Those AI characters only carry around pistols. The second one's in downtown, and I think it's off of Dr. Heckle Street. And those guys are armed with machine guns, so, or assault rifles. So yeah, I mentioned that this map was somewhat based off of Saints Row the Third, or that was the initial spark or inspiration. And so the storyline was kind of going to be like that. This is a repo mission here that I just walked into. So basically what you have to do is take this flatbed truck and then go to the objective marker and put the car onto the flatbed truck and deliver it back to the garage. I don't think there's any sort of mission in the main campaign of Far Cry 5 where we have to use this flatbed at all. But it's here, and I was like, I'll use it for something. So I decided to have these repo missions. Now, when you do these repo missions, there's 3 of them. You unlock a vehicle back at the safe house that you can use. Now we have some Wolf Brothers gangs that are spawning in on the street. So sometimes you have to fight them off, sometimes they lose you, and then you can collect this vehicle at ease with no interruptions. Wow, I can't believe I missed that. A little junkyard right here. So anyways, yeah, the story was going to be kind of Saints Row, where the main character's name is Kenny Harrington. I guess I should talk about the crappy story I kind of made. But the main character's name was Kenny Harrington. And he left Canton City to search for something new. Something that he can, I don't know, find good in his life or make good in his life somewhere else. So he cut off all contact with anything from Canton City and people, including his aunt. It's kind of messed up. But anyways, his aunt passes away. His neighbor, or his aunt's neighbor, Joseph, was an older man, but he used to be a leader of a gang way back in the day that got dismantled, and kind of has remained an old coot ever since. But he was close with the aunt, and the aunt ended up giving Joseph her house, so he just takes care of the house. Well, Kenny Harrington comes back and says he couldn't find anything elsewhere, came back to the place he was born and raised, you know, finding out that his aunt passed away. But anyways, he notices just how chaotic the city has become now, and how just filled with crime that it is. And, you know, the city wasn't that good to begin with when he left, but it's noticeably even worse now. And because he never found anything to do in his life elsewhere, he wants to make a difference here in Canton City. Okay, so we had just delivered this vehicle, so we just back it up, then we get teleported out front, and then that's how that works. The reason why the garage is elevated is because I didn't want the player just to steal the car and then drive it to the garage. I wanted them to put the car on the flatbed. So they have to, you know, use the flatbed. There is a way that you can cheat it. I don't want to mention it. It'd be pretty easy to figure out. So anyways, Kenny Harrington comes back and knocks on the front door. Joseph comes out and is like, "What are you doing here?" So that's kind of how that all pretty much started. And then, you know, Kenny knows Joseph's past, being a gang leader of a gang, gangster, or leader of a gang, goodness, and wants to try to create a gang to take out all these other gangs and, you know, take over the city, but, you know, with good intentions. So that's how it started out, and then I started getting rid of characters. Got rid of Joseph, because there was originally, I was going to have cutscenes, and I was going to actually put some sort of artsy filter over it, because I can't draw worth a crap, and that would have taken a lot of time. But I was going to take like a snapshot of the game, and then give it like an artsy filter. We're going to do the second mission of the repo mission here. But yeah, give it an artsy filter, and then slowly do like a snap zoom on each shot, and then have the dialogue kind of come in. But just how it went with my Zoe Ruins map, you know, the dialogue just didn't sound good, and I couldn't get really the filtering right. But because we have a lot of the dialogue, or all the dialogues through a phone, you know, I can add filters to kind of make it somewhat passable. Hopefully it's passable. Hopefully you guys didn't cringe during the mission briefing and the intro. But anyways, so it wasn't supposed to be like a real serious type of storyline. It's gonna have some serious moments, but it was mainly gonna be kind of funny. But then I was just, then it started kind of getting a little serious, but I don't know. But the problem was, is I was able to do, I did the DJ's character, and then there's another character in the Wolf Brothers territory named Robert Kingsley. And
He kind of sounded like this.
that was terrible. But that's what he sounded like. But then the problem was, is I had like 2 other characters I needed to try to do, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So, and it was bad, and I stopped. Alright, so we just picked up the truck, or the car, little compact car. Now we're on Steve 64B's bridge, and we're taking it back to the garage. Now in the original version of this map, that extraction zone, oh my gosh, that extraction zone was invisible. After you do that tutorial that tells you go here to complete the map when you're ready, the extraction zone unspawns, but that icon, that holographic icon, will stay. So that way if the player suspects, oh yeah, it's up in the safe house in the bedroom, right? I'll go up there. And they'll see the icon and then be, oh, yep, that's the extraction zone. Well, Predator Back 1, he ended up testing this map way too early, because I wanted to test the map in the published version really quick and see how it performed. Well, he got his hands on the map and did a playthrough and everything really soon. The day and night cycle was broken, so it stayed nighttime mostly through his playthrough, unfortunately. But also, he had mentioned that the extraction zone might be hard for players to find. So I was like, okay, well, you know what, I'll just, fix the day and night cycle. And then I'll just leave the extraction zone icon on the map at all times. If the player wants to go do missions, they just have to ignore the extraction zone icon. I just didn't want the icon to kind of distract the other objective markers, but... Okay, so this is where you spawn in vehicles, and I forgot to mention that, because I was blabbering. But yeah, we just unlocked the semi, and I think we take this, and you do some missions with it. Where am I going? Oh, mission 2 for the East Side Dogs.
Listen, the East Side Dogs are starting to worry. I heard their boss, D-Pit, is trying to figure out who is responsible for taking out his members. Today, I'm thinking a little more explosive. I'm thinking maybe you should target their cars. I want them shaken to their core, so get some explosives and release the fireworks.
Alright, destroy gang cars. So basically there's 2 vehicles over here and we have to blow them up. And if you look closely, there's one guy like wiping it down. He just spawned there. He was connected to a spawner. But it worked out. I didn't notice that he spawned. He could have been hiding in that little corner. So these are the 2 vehicles we gotta destroy. One thing to know, if you are ever doing like anything that's like a mission, and when you're using scripting, let's say one of your missions, you want the player to kill 4 AI characters, right? So you want the player to kill 4 AI characters before the script changes or the next objective is there for the player. Make sure you do not use the same AI character for those 4 characters, because when you do, since they're spawning in via script, for some reason, when you set the 4 of them as a trigger on the death of trigger, the game can't remember killing 4 of them individually as a trigger. It all combines into just one AI that is the only trigger and not the 4 of them like it's supposed to. So that's a lesson I learned early on when I was doing Bradbury Canyon and doing the missions for that map. This is... Okay, yeah, guns for hire, so we're spawning a couple AI. So make sure if you want the player to kill 4 AI characters, you have an assaulter, a defender, then whatever else. Berserker, brawler, doesn't matter, whatever's fitting to your mission, and then another different AI character. Then select all 4 of them as the trigger, and then it'll function properly. If you do all the same AI, it's not going to work.
A friend of mine spotted a possible drug stash ran by the East Side Dogs. He said he saw one of the members assaulting a pedestrian walking by, then saw a van backing up to the garage. If that's the case and the stash is there, destroy it. The East Side Dogs are dealing in something I don't think's made around here. They call it Zone or Z, and it makes people do some wacky shit. Destroying it will definitely hurt the game.
Alright, we got mission 3 here for the East Side Dogs, and this is destroying the drug stash. So I was trying to come up with different tasks for the player to do. I didn't want it just to be, go over here, kill AI. So I wanted to try to do different things. So anyways, the second mission where you blow up those cars, since those are the same assets, or those 2 cars are the same asset, I could not select both of them as the trigger. Because if I did, the game only will register one of those vehicles. So you could blow up one of those cars and the script wouldn't be over, or the script would be over if you blew up the right car. But since it was only 2 vehicles and they were close together, that's why I just didn't mind it too much. But originally I was gonna have one vehicle on this side of town, one vehicle over here on this side of town, another vehicle over here, but then I remembered this issue with the triggers and spawning the same assets, so I was like, I'll just keep them close together. Most likely the player will just throw a explosive and blow both of them up, then it should work fine. So here's the drug stash. And so you have to blow up all of these. Actually, if you throw an explosive in the right place, you don't have to blow up all of them. And it's the same issue with what I was just speaking about. With all of the assets are the same, so you can't select, since they're spawning in, you can't select all of these barrels or anything like that. It only happens when you're trying to when you spawn in assets or AI and you're trying to make them as triggers. Back at Dennis Steinsley's gun shop. Customizing our weapon again. See, I honestly think if we had the money to use to maybe have loadouts for PvP or custom loadouts for PvP for editors on their own account, I mean, sure, the editor can have like a preset loadout made, but it would be nice if players could have their own classes, and all that money that you make playing these custom maps can go to that. But that's one of the things I mentioned in my what I would like to see in the next arcade video, was a better ranking system, or better ways to rank up, or different, certain points. what's cool is if you leave an AI character behind, they'll take the nearest vehicle next to them and you can kind of create a convoy.
Listen, we ain't got time to talk. I just heard the East Side dogs have got another drug shipment coming in. Probably more so to replace what you destroyed. 2 box trucks just left the airport. I'm sure they'll be making their way up Fallen Avenue. Find these trucks and destroy the shipment.
Okay, mission 4 for the East Side dogs here. I wanted to show the little cutscene here. Because, I don't know, I was kind of proud of it. Because it was kind of a pain in the butt to get the AI to do what I wanted them to do. And it worked for the most part. So we got to blow up these trucks, these box trucks that are loaded with the guns. Or not the guns, originally they were called Zone or Z. And in the cutscene, DJ's like, these people are dealing with something I'd never even seen before. They call it Zone or Z and makes people do some wacky stuff. And there's a couple areas where you run into some like homeless AI characters or bums. And it's kind of supposed to reference to them, and they're the angel AI characters. Got a lot of lag going on here. That helicopter was supposed to be here much sooner, and because of the spawning of the AI, he isn't. And sometimes he lands, and that kind of ticked me off a little bit when I was making the map. There we go. Alright, mission passed.
Thought that was it.
Now it's extremely dark, which means that the time of day is changing. Ooh, found the silenced MP5 there. And you don't have to pick the weapon up, just walk into the general area and then you unlock it at the safe house, so. Now the lights, if you notice these street lights that I have, there's a little white glow or a little dot. And these are great to use for when you're looking at these lights from a distance, because they give off some sort of illumination or glow, which really adds to the atmosphere of the night city. My AI character just died because I hit that ramp. But anyways, it's really nice to use, and it's the Airstrip Halo, I think it's called, but you can customize the color of it. But what I would recommend is to not use too many of them, because they seem to render at any point on the map, no matter how far away you are. They will, if you use too many of them, it seems to mess up other visual effects to the point where you won't see any sort of muzzle flare on your gun anymore. Now these guys are supposed to be security guards for the airport. They turn hostile if you get near them, if you start aiming a gun at them. And this is from Steve64B's mod. Now as soon as you start killing them though, endless amount of guys start showing up. They just instantly keep respawning. So you just, you know, it was kind of one of those things where I thought if somebody wanted to hang out in the airport and just, you know, fight these guys for whatever reason, they could. But it also makes it seem like there's reinforcements that are constantly showing up and trying to take you down. So these specific AI characters, they're either security guards or they're police. And on this side of town, or in downtown, there's a couple areas where you'll see them spawn in. And it's kind of the same deal. If you get close to them, they'll, you know, kind of tell you to back off. If you aim a gun at them, they'll start shooting at you and trying to attack you. Now, I had mentioned Canton City Bank, and I was wanting to make the bank enterable and there'd be a vault, and you could actually rob the bank. And not just the bank, but I was also going to make it to where you could rob convenience stores as well. Oh, so this is a plane challenge or flight challenge that you can do. So it says reach all the markers. Now because of the time of day, you can't see the red spotlights on those black pillars, and that's just the red light, green light to go. But basically once the fireworks spawn, and then the writing goes away, then it's time to go. So we have all these objective markers. Now once you complete this, you will have the ability to spawn a attack plane, which will then teleport the player to the airport, and an attack heli, which will spawn in the cul-de-sac. Originally the plane was going to spawn in the cul-de-sac, but it was just way too hard to get the plane up in the air because the wings kept either hitting the building or hitting the telephone pole. So we have these little check markers or checkpoints, and every time you pass through them you'll hear a little sound effect. But the yellow rings don't unspawn because they're connected to an action on the script called spawn with a lifetime, and the reason being is because I wanted to allow the player to retry it if they happen to crash, or if they just wanted to do it again and try to beat my best time, which I did put my best time near the mission booth. Yeah, this was a nice little touch to add cloud effects if you got high enough. This was actually when I was seeing San Andreas gameplay, and if you get high enough, clouds will spawn in. I was like, you know what? We have an effect that kind of spawns clouds. I'll do that. So there's a bunch of these cloud effects up really high. So we're heading back to the airport. It looks like it's getting to be daytime, right? Yeah, daytime. So also too, once you do this flight challenge, you'll get helicopters that spawn elsewhere, and you'll get, there's a seaplane that also spawns at one of those docks back there in the, near the junkyard. Alright, so we landed. See, best time, 1 minute 57. Use a personal timer. I was going too fast in the playthrough when I was doing the video. Didn't cover that. So yeah, anyways, I was talking about robbing convenience stores. You were going to be able to rob convenience stores, and basically if you went in and like killed the cashier, then SWAT team AI, the police, sedans with Omni lights would spawn out front, and then you just have to try to get away. And that was something I was wanting to try to do, but I mean by the end of it, once you build just the city alone and the frame rate drops as low as it does, it becomes a pain in the butt to edit anything more.
Alright, word on the street is Deep Pit is hiding out in the Frederickson B apartments. It's time to make him meet his end. There's gonna be lots of guards there, so make sure you're well strapped. I wish I could roll with you on this one. After this, the East Side Dogs should crumble. Most of their members are either on drugs or too stupid to continue.
Here's the boss mission for the East Side Dogs. Kill the East Side Dogs boss. Fairly easy. Now see, there's an objective marker at the safe house. That's just to let me know where to go to spawn in the airplanes and the helicopter. That's not connected to this mission. Alright. Now we do have an AI spawner that's in this building. So after this mission, if you come back here, AI will continue to spawn in. Frame rate drops right here a lot. So the boss is here, over here somewhere. And once you kill the boss, a script will start, and it's the slow motion script. And I wanted the boss to look different. Doesn't really look like a bad thug, but... Oh, wow.
Down there! I can't make him out! You won't last 30 seconds!
So as you can see, there's AI that seem to continually spawn. But you don't have to kill them all, you don't have to stick around. That's one of the things I like about the spawners, is that you get far enough, AI will unspawn. I just wish that we could customize the distance. Which I can't remember if I asked Steve. I think I said this in another video. I can't remember if I asked him or not, if there's a way to customize those spawners to where we can set how far away the AI will unspawn. Because it'd be great to connect civilians to spawners, because they'll spawn in when the player's nearby, which will add some life to your map. But when the player gets far enough away, they unspawn, so it doesn't mess up any future AI spawning. But it'd be nice too if you want to use spawners for a main base, and by the time the player has visual on the base, all the AI characters can spawn in to that base. But you can't do that because that would be too far. Like if the player was coming up over a mountain or a hillside, it'd be too far away from the main base, I would imagine. So the AI in the base would not spawn in.
Ah, I heard you're the ones been kicking gangs out of neighborhood. Well, I'm happy to find out that you stepped foot in my neck of the woods, because I need some help. My name is Robert Kingsley, and I'm kind of a protector here in the industrial district. I am outmanned and outgunned, and I'm dealing with a gang called the Wolf Brothers. And these guys are animals, vicious animals, and I can only do so much. Anyways, every year the Wolf Brothers gang throw a celebration in the middle of the streets for a whole week, celebrating when the gang first took control of the industrial district. Their idea of celebrating is blocking roads, throwing Molotovs into buildings, beating people on the street, and destroying property. If you can, get to the intersection of Turtle Street and Dredger Street and take out all of the Wolf Brothers members there.
Okay, so this is the first Wolf Brothers mission. Kill all the Wolf Brothers. This is where we meet the character Robert Kingsley, which I might have added him into this little video. I probably won't. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't actually edited the video together yet. I'm commentating on mainly just the gameplay here. Well, yeah, so these guys are celebrating when the gang first took over the industrial district, and they basically do it every year. And they burn down buildings and stuff. Now, you saw there was no explosion or fire effects from those vehicles, and that's because I guess I got a lot of fire effects around in this general area. So, it looks like it's raining again. Now, funny enough, when it rains the second time, the water droplets don't even render or show up. But because there's fog in the map, it kind of... it helps. Alright, so we just did that mission. Wolf Brothers gang member over there. The Wolf Brothers have TNT. Or they use TNT. So I actually had a list of things that I wanted to have in this map once I was 98% done with it. Or maybe 100% done with it. It was just kind of stuff I wanted to add extra. And here's mission 2.
Hey, this is Kingsley. I believe I have found where the Wolf Brothers are hanging out. There is a partially sunk vessel in the channel under Steve's highway. I think killing all the members on board will have the Wolf Brothers looking over their shoulders.
Assault the gang hideout. Pretty simple. Anyways, one of the things on the list was traffic. The other thing was AI spawners. And there was a car shop, but that was after I couldn't get the AI spawners to work at first. So anyways, actually, I also needed to add more vehicles around the map because there really wasn't any. Well, it turns out I couldn't add a single vehicle without the map file size error showing up. So I think vehicles also contribute to that map file size error from showing up. Or for showing up. And so anyways, I couldn't add any more vehicles, and I didn't even think about the fact that I had to add more vehicles to create traffic. Well, anyways, I couldn't get the AI to work like I normally can, and so I scrapped that idea anyways. Then I was like, well, I'll do a car shop. When I did the car shop is when I realized that the vehicles were creating the map file size issue. This is another way to get up on this little boat. What's supposed to be kind of a sunken boat or whatever. Anyways, so I did the car shop. I added all the vehicles, the different colors that the player can choose to spawn in, and got hit with the map file size error. I started deleting vehicles individually, like one by one, to see if I could at least have some kind of car shop. And I was down to like the last vehicle, or the second to last vehicle, and the error was still popping up. So I said, you know what? I can't include it. Forget it. Get rid of the car shop. I couldn't get the AI spawners to work because the AI spawners seem to interfere with spawning of AI in the missions, and the missions are a priority, so I did not want the spawners to be in the map. Well, I released the map. Predator Back 1 got his hands on the map, like I said earlier, and he had mentioned also that it would have been nice to have more AI characters to face. Which, funny enough, the missions that he did were mainly missions that didn't have a lot of AI anyways. But anyways, drink every time I say anyways. But I decided to go ahead and try to include spawners again, because he had mentioned maybe adding some AI spawners would be best. So I said, okay, I'm going to try to include AI spawners. Well, then I found out that if you set the spawn wave 2 trigger to be all dead, or at least higher, I set it to all dead, it seemed to keep the wave 1 AI characters as a priority. And I'm using wave 1 to spawn them in for the missions, whereas the spawners are wave 2. So every time I would do a mission or spawn or start a mission, it didn't matter if I was passing through AI spawners throughout the streets, all the AI in wave 1 that are spawning in on the mission would stay on the map. So I was like, well, thank goodness. So then once I realized that's the way to get around it, I decided to go ahead and add more spawners. And then I kept adding spawners after update and updating the map again, then added the police, added the security guards at the airport, added some homeless bums. So I was able to add it in the end, so I was really happy about that. I would have kind of liked to add it more, but I didn't want to push it, because there still was maybe one AI character that would fail to spawn in the missions, and sometimes it would be a AI character that is a trigger, and that kind of screwed up some things. So wish we could kind of prioritize which AI characters we want to have spawn in. There's a gun in here. This is like an old factory, which has an old gun in it. So I wanted to keep those together. Now this nighttime here is really foggy. I think this is the first real thick fog effect that we see. Alright, here we go. Mission 3.
Hey, I spotted another Wolf Brothers hangout spot at the junkyard, next to the Ebola bridge.
Assault gang hideout. So we're going to assault another gang hideout. It does change up after this mission. But the reason I did assault the gang hideout was, one, I can have more AI, which will make the map a little more action-packed, but also, two, wanted it to make it feel like you're actually attacking areas and you're disrupting the gang and getting in their way. Alright, so here we go. Some of the missions have soundtracks, but as you just heard, the soundtrack just cut out. And I don't know why that happened. That was happening a lot. And I thought it might have been because there's too many effects on the map, but I don't know. I couldn't seem to really fix it. So music will be in the missions, and then sometimes it cuts out. Now, one of the modifiers is no explosion damage. And the reason I had that on there was because, you know, how long the map is. Should be the last guy, yeah. But because how long the map is, I didn't want the player to be taking cover behind some car and an RPG spawns in and blows them up. Or a lucky grenade blows up the car or something like that. And I know that would be... That would feel pretty bad to know you went all this way and then just a lucky explosion got you down. So that's why I have no explosion damage turned on. Fire damage was also not turned on, but I ended up turning that back on. There's also no fall damage. Sometimes, you know, you think you can make a jump, right? Or you think you can land on the ground, or you're not high up. Well, yeah, then sometimes you die. So I didn't want that happening as well. So you can jump off a skyscraper and land perfectly fine. Alright, so we're going to kill the Wolf Brothers lieutenant. His name is Jack Hanger, and then the leader of the Wolf Brothers is Johnny Hanger. They're brothers. Which is why the mission after this one, Wolf Brothers attacked the safe house. So I actually tried to sneak in, because I wanted to show off some of the animation points that I had. Because this Jack Hanger guy is a pretty sick dude. This worked out perfectly. Usually I could never get the AI or see the AI use the vomiting animation point for some reason, but he ended up using it, and it was actually, it was, you know, he was connected to the wall. Some animation points, the AI doesn't even touch the object that you're wanting them to touch, so. I like that it's raining too. But yeah, you don't have to sneak in at all. All right. Now this is the mission where Detective Richards explains to the player, like, you know, everybody in this town's corrupt. I can't get a warrant, but you don't need one. So go in there and deal with Jack Hanger and do with him as you see fit. That was kind of the bit of the dialogue. Yeah, so sick man. All right. Okay, so what you're seeing here, you see how bright the map is all of a sudden? Well, the lightning effect tends to stay in the map when you turn the storms off. And you might have saw it, or you might have seen it earlier in the playthrough, where there's a house that says fix lighting. That's exactly what this is for. It's not a big issue. I know when Predator Back played the map, he walked into the fixed lighting, and I'm sure he was wondering, like, what is this for? But this is what it's for, because when daytime happens, it gets so bright in this map. But the way to fix it is basically having a script that spawns in a storm and then just unspawn it again. So you walk into here, and now the lighting is fixed. But then the storm will go away. So now the lighting is fixed. That's why I put that in the map. So most people are probably confused as to what that's for. But I'm hoping that if that ever happens and you realize, why is the lighting so bright all of a sudden, then you'll go, oh, fix lighting. Okay, maybe that's what that's for. Alright, so we're heading back to the Wolf Brothers side. We're gonna be doing the mission that has the Wolf Brothers gang heading to the safe house. Sucky thing is, I had all of the cutscenes recorded. I couldn't get the dialogue to work. And the actual characters to sound different from each other without sounding like me. Now, I would like to break the map down in the editor just to show you all some of the little mechanisms I had to create with the scripting to make things happen. Only thing is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it because the map is like 10 frames per second or 9 frames per second in the editor, and then I got to record it. So I don't know how well that's going to work out, but I could definitely try. Reinforcements are showing up. Ooh. Trying to burn my house down. I think one of the windows has a fire effect anyways. Well, you know what? I don't think it does, because I had a fire effect coming out of the top, the second story window, but the whole house caught fire in that specific gameplay, and yeah, so I deleted it. So as you see, there's more weapons down here now. Trying to reload up. And the Wolf brothers have the heavy LMG AI. Mainly because their outfits seem to match close to the Wolf brothers gang than the East Side Dogs and definitely the Porcelli family. Which was Steve's mod, you can customize AI, but you can't spawn them in. I made that mistake on a recent map I was working on. Alright, so I think that's it. I think this is when the game glitched out, because the one AI character that is the remaining trigger to complete the mission didn't spawn in. Or spawned it in, but then unspawned because of too much AI. That's why I ended up using the hunter effect here to see if the enemy would be highlighted anywhere. But, oh well. The objective markers are not permanent, so you can walk in them and unspawn them. That was one thing I made sure, was making the objective markers not permanent. Hey look, there's a homeless guy there. Alright, so this is the boss mission for the Wolf Brothers gang.
Glad to know you're still in one piece. I heard that they hit you pretty hard. Now it's time for you to hit them back. I hear that Johnny is in his bar getting ready to rain fire on you. I say it's time for you to go rain fire on him instead. He'll be well protected, so be careful. Afterwards, the Wolf Brothers won't have anyone to call the shots. Some of them will scatter, and I'll be able to take care of the ones that remain. You've been a good help, friend. Thank you, and I'll be seeing you around.
Started chucking grenades. Quite a bit of AI characters here, and when you get close to the bar, more AI will spawn in. And that's just in general. It's not only specifically in this mission. And it's kind of funny too, because if you actually try to steal the four-wheeler that's in the parking spot or the truck, you'll have these AI characters run out trying to stop you, which works out pretty well. And there's the boss. He's got a 50 caliber in there. But he's really easy to kill. He's not like a heavy or anything like that. Ooh. That was close. And there he is. He's down. Oh my goodness. That was close. Yeah, if you play this mission, kill as many guys as you can from a distance, then make your way in. Don't do what I did. Did I get them all? No, there's a guy on the roof. I just saw him. See, I heard him. But whatever. So up here, there's a helicopter, and this helicopter only spawns in when you complete the flight mission. Who's shooting? There's a rocket launcher up here. It's kind of weird. Because there's no allies around, so I wonder why the character was shooting. Alright, helicopter time. Alright, so we've only done the East Side Dogs and the Wolf Brothers. Now off to downtown. The Porcelli family. Alright, mission 1. Kill Porcelli family members. So the first missions for these different gangs are usually go to this place and then kill the bad guys. And then other missions start to change a little bit. You see the game slightly lagging. No. There's a tennis court down there. If you're playing with a co-op buddy, you can play grenade toss, but you gotta have the throw the grenade back perk. So once you have that perk, you and your co-op buddy can just toss grenades at each other. And since there's no explosion damage, if the grenade explodes, you know, you can get that as a point, or count that as a point. Yeah, and there's a soccer field too. But unfortunately, when you kick that blue ball, it breaks eventually, so that kind of stinks. So we have some AI spawning on the ground from the spawners. Okay, where am I going to? Oh, see, there's a cop. He's supposed to be a cop. But he just walks on the sidewalk.
I forgive the transgression.
Yeah, you walk up to him and... I actually don't have a lot of weapons unlocked. Back in the gun shop. What are we doing? I don't like the fact that they didn't make all these guns together. Is the M9 in this section? It is, okay. So the M9's in the pistol section, but the... what is it, 6P9? Or... I don't remember what it's called. A small one, but that's in the other section. So you have to kind of get close to him. Or maybe you have to face him and do it. Yeah.
Stop playing around with that. That's it.
So this is kind of the same thing. Once you kill one, others in the area start to spawn in. And it's mainly, the spawner I think is set to rearm itself when one AI character is dead, and the rearm time is like 1 second. So it makes it seem like reinforcements are showing up endlessly. If only I could have police car chases. Perfect. Alright, so we're going to be doing the second mission for the Porcelli family. This one's not really killing anybody. This is a street racing mission, and it's kind of slight homage to my Carson City map. Well, I'm trying to do a little cinematic thing here. Alright. I think it's getting nighttime too. Alrighty. Get car in line for race. And I have a little car here. Just to help players understand. They may not speak English, like what is supposed to happen. That's one thing I try to always think about when I'm doing like these missions, is for players that don't speak English and may not understand what's going on. How can I set it up to where they could understand it, but I also have to make sure they have plenty of time to understand it or to catch on. So it's pretty tricky. Alright, so we have these AI characters. Get in their cars. Wow, that was a delay start. Usually they're already putting the pedal to the metal. See, the music just cut out. Again. Now this is a Porcelli family member right here. He's driving their gang car. You know what's funny? I actually, what was it? I had played this map again not too long ago. And I did the race, and the Porcelli family car, he didn't actually turn down that street. He went straight and then cut through the construction site, which I thought was kind of neat. But basically the vehicles will unspawn after a certain period of time, so that way AI doesn't linger around the finish line. The reason I don't have them set to unspawn, or at least the AI set to unspawn, is because that specific mission is once per trigger. You can't unspawn anything that spawns in on a once per trigger script. So yeah, I made it to where the race, you could play it 2 more times. We got a little parking garage down here. Wanted to include this. And there is a special car down here. It's the Blood Dragon vehicle. Oh yeah, and there's a Mars gun down here too. The Mars weapons, they're on the map, but they are in places that are real hidden. Man, it'd really be cool to have checkpoint systems. Alright, mission 3? Mission 3, yeah. Find and kill the assassins. Alright, so we gotta find and kill the assassins. So the character I think you meet here, his name is Teller, or Oscar Teller. In this mission, he's unknown, and he's basically telling Kenny, do this, and then I'll give you some more information. But basically, there's this politician that's going to be showing up at that courthouse back there. That's what all those SUVs are for. And we need to take out the assassins. This character here, the reason he's in the vehicle and he's just sitting there is because his control zone, or the path to his control zone, is blocked by a vehicle. if you put a vehicle or block the vehicle, or use a vehicle to block the path. I don't know what this guy's doing. Oh, he's ruining the mission. No. So there's another assassin up there. And then the final assassin spawns up there. They all don't spawn at once. There's a time between each spawning. But anyway, so if you block off the nav mesh with a vehicle, and there's no other way for the AI to get to that control zone, they'll still get in the vehicle, but they won't drive the vehicle. So they just sit there. So that's why that AI or that assassin was just sitting in the van. What am I doing? Okay, I got him. And now the police are showing up. These cops only exist in the Porcelli family side of the map, or downtown. They're not on the other side with the industrial or the safe house area. Okay, where am I going to now? Oh yeah, okay, so we have another assassin mission here. And I just heard a bad guy. Now this time you are the assassin, so kill target. So the player's being guided to the best place for a vantage point, which is on top of this crane. And you see on top of those towers, or antennas, I'm using the airstrip halo, which is that little glow dot. And those are great to use on towers, and you just change the color to red. And they render anywhere. Like I said, don't use too many of them because it's going to mess up the visual effects. I was actually starting to use them as the city lights on the skyscrapers, but that's when I found out that the visual effects were being affected because of too many of those dots are trying to render, I guess, at once. So there's our target. And it's a Joseph Seed brother. And funny enough, I'm not using any of the Seed brothers as bosses. I just found it to be a bit too cliche. Alright, so we got a couple more missions left. Not too many. How many more do we have? I think we only have 3 more. Wait. That one. And, okay, 4 more. We have 4 more missions. I do like the city when it gets really dark like this. But I knew that would be annoying for some players. But the lights do show up a lot better. The little music that you're hearing is from the club next door. I'm back in the gun shop again. Oh. Customizing the snipers, I guess. The BP2. I am gonna say that it's very lazy for Ubisoft to just only add different colors as the paint jobs for some of the DLC weapons. Like the BP2, you can only pick colors. There's no actual camo design or anything like that. I think that's kind of lazy on their part. Alright, so this is the second place to get guns for hire, and these guys are better equipped. Just found the remote explosives, so now they'll spawn at the safe house and the gun shop. Wait, they don't spawn at the gun shop, they spawn only at the safe house. In the basement. Get your own wheels, dude. See, that's how that works. Now basically that that character is going to oh, never mind, I'm gonna get a 4-door vehicle then. I was gonna say that other AI was gonna just take another vehicle nearby, but... Oh, shoot. We gotta roll. Oh no. He stopped shooting. But I liked how the cops kind of worked out. I wish I could put them all over the map, but I know it would get annoying. I mean, I would change certain spawners to not spawn them in so frequently, but... Okay, assault the club. So this is where we're gonna kill a Porcelli family member. I think someone that's high up in the family. I think it's a nephew. And he really doesn't contribute to anything in the family. He was just born in it, and he just parties all the time, and he's an a-hole. So I think in the phone call, it was supposed to be like let's see, what was the character on the phone? I think it was just a husband, and the nephew was drunk and broke into the house and just beat him and his wife to a pulp. So basically, the husband's like, you've been fighting the Porcelli family. Go kill this guy. So yeah, that's kind of what this mission is. But then I think I decided to change it as the detective and make it the detective given the mission. So yeah, here's the club. The club in my mind was gonna be a lot bigger than this, and there was gonna be. It was actually gonna look like a strip club, but I don't know. I didn't have enough space on the map, I guess, or in that small little lot. What are you doing over there? See, that sounds like a cop. And there it goes. Oh, there's another one. Alright, we are getting close to the end. Now, this mission we're going to over here, I think, is the mission to take out dirty cops.
Have too many video games to play.
This park is not really nice to look at. Originally, there was going to be just buildings here and maybe an alleyway, but I was like, I need to have a park somewhere in this city. So, take out dirty cop / money van. So this mission's kind of hidden. I don't know how many people actually ended up playing this one. Killzone 3000 bridge. I must have not shown that off early on, so... Alright, so we gotta go to the docks, or the industrial district. Take out the dirty cops and the money van. This specific mission was given to the player by the Detective Richards. That was his name. There's also homeless people that spawn in here. Have some police cars. There's the money van there. That's the problem. Because the homeless people spawn in, they end up freaking out the cops. Which I guess kind of works. But because they're on the same faction, we don't ever see them shooting each other. They basically team up and try to kill the player, so it kind of ruins it, but... Alright. And that's it. So I had to set that up in a pretty weird way. And this is a police car. This is really cool. This is, of course, because of Steve64B's mod. But you can add an Omni light to the car, and it follows the car. So you can basically have a cop car. Which, that gives me an idea. You can play cops and robbers with a co-op buddy. Cops and robbers and a PvP match. That'd be interesting. That'd actually be really interesting. Okay, so we're doing the last Repo mission, and this AI character is gonna follow me around because there's not enough room. And I just couldn't resist hitting that car. But yeah, it is cool. I mean, imagine like, the reason the lights are not flickering as smoothly as they normally are, or as they normally do, is because there's too much lighting on the map. That's why. Alright, so we're heading to downtown, pick up the last car. The airport was another kind of last minute choice. I had that bit of extra space of land over there, and I was like, you know what, I want to include an airport. So I kind of scrunched in that little airport. Alright, here we go. Gonna pick up a Mustang, and then of course this knucklehead gets in the way. Thank you. No, he's still in the way. Ah. Oh, nope, there it goes. It's moving. Or can I move the car? No. Too bad. Too bad you can't actually release the brakes and push the car. That would be kind of neat. Alright, so then... There we go. Get out of the way. So yeah, you'll kind of get antagonized by the Porcelli family members around the area. Yeah, this is supposed to be a Porcelli member car too, because it's blue and has a white stripe. Alright. Time to take this car back. I was waiting for the AI to get in, but they weren't. There we go. I didn't even hear that guy get in. And then the police spawned. They only spawn in this general area. There is a couple other spawns where they spawn in. And I think there's one spawn where they do spawn in, or one of them spawns in, but their faction is slightly different. And they also attack the Porcelli gang too, so it's like a third faction. But I'm really happy the AI spawners work. It's nice to have something happening on the sidewalk and it's not just dead. Still not as lively as I would like it to be, but do what you gotta do. Alright, so we got this vehicle here. Oh my gosh, you would. And then that's the final Repo mission. So now we've also unlocked another vehicle. We'll go over there and check it out. Yeah, it looks like it might be getting daytime. Nope, there's our police car. Whoa, run me over. I did try using my binoculars and setting a waypoint, and then getting in the passenger side, and then see if the AI would drive me there. They get into the driver's seat, but they don't drive me there, unfortunately. Oh, I did it. I just did it. I didn't think I did it in this video, but wow. Because I think in the campaign, if you set a waypoint, I know it's on the map, but I was thinking maybe this would be the same thing, that they would take you there, but no, that didn't work. Not a bad idea. There's so many unique things and interesting things and features that we could really have in this editor, and I really wish Ubisoft would like just dive down that hole and you know, make it happen. Of course, you know, there's always the limitations of consoles, so they have to try to keep everything within that, but man. I'd like to see it when it rains and see like water effects drizzling off of roofs, you know, or bridges. I'd like to be able to walk up behind an AI character and like interrogate him. That'd be neat. Maybe they can include some sort of different ways you can do takedowns, like what if they have like a little wheel where it's a knife, or it's your bare fists, or it's an injection, or a gun. And whatever one you have selected, if you do a takedown, let's say you have the injection one, or the needle, or the syringe selected, then you go up behind an AI, do a takedown, and it doesn't kill him, but he injects him, like injects something into his in his neck, and just like maybe puts him to sleep or something. But you can actually pick his body up and carry it. That'd be kind of neat to see in certain maps, like you have to, you know, kidnap a target or something like that. But maybe the gun one is maybe like interrogation, where you have the gun pointed to the character's head. Question is what would the AI character talk about? But maybe they can give off like information about something local, like there's this many bad guys in the outpost, reinforcements take this many seconds to show up, or something like that, something small. SAM turrets on the other side of the base, things like that. That'd be neat. Oh, so this is a helicopter mission here. We got to destroy the roadblocks. That character, Oscar Teller, turns out he's the politician that was about to get assassinated. So he's teamed up with Kenny Harrington because he sees Kenny is trying to get rid of a lot of the terrible crime in the city. But Oscar Teller is planning to make his way to the other side of the city to make an appearance, because I think he's running for mayor or something like that. That was the story. But it got out what route he was going to take, and the Porcelli family has set up roadblocks, and you just have to stop them. But you see, now that we're far away, you see all those little dots? That's what the halo strip effect does, and it looks nice. And we have an enemy helicopter showing up. Gotta have a helicopter on helicopter fight. Now the AI characters on the ground, they do have RPGs, and sometimes they'll shoot at you. Wish we could select how observant AI characters are. Sometimes they're just not observant enough. Okay, I think we have one mission left. And that is the Porcelli boss mission. Originally in that mission we just did, there was supposed to be a box truck that you would see driving on the road to the area, or a vehicle driving on the road. For some reason I couldn't get the AI to traverse the path, so. Did he get in? Did I let him get in? Take him out. Or not. It's really foggy on this night. Alright, so here's the boss mission here. Kill Porcelli family's boss. Hey look, there's Cold Blast right there. And I added the little blue triangle generic shapes and try to create little icebergs or glacier land formation on the bottom there. Alright, so we're going to be going to the Dapper Hayden condos. Whoa, what was I doing? Oh, trying to switch to that. Now you can go into the condo at any point in time. There will be AI characters that do spawn in and try to stop you from going in. But you can get by them and then you can actually go up to the roof. And that's where we're going to be heading pretty soon. Oh no, did my ally die? Kind of wish I put some sort of like curtains on the walls or something, a little more decor. There is the Porcelli boss right there. He actually showed up pretty quickly. Usually it takes him a little bit of time. But that is him. I got him. I can't believe I got him. I thought I'd missed that shot. But that is it. Then we have a little spa there, which does not look like a spa. I had water in the spa, but because the water extends to infinity below, the player would end up in the water when they were in the lobby. So, low frame rate here. But you can jump off. I wish it was clear in daytime, so that would have been nice. So we're heading back to the safe house. That was rough. So we have an objective marker that appears here. Break to unlock all the guns if you replay the map. So if you end up doing, I think it's only the boss missions that you have to do, but once you do the boss missions, you'll be told to go here, and it's going to say that. So basically, if you ever want to replay the map again at any point, and you don't feel like exploring around everywhere to find all the guns again, break that little glass, all the guns will immediately spawn in for you. You have some enemies that spawned in somewhere. Alright, head back into the house. Okay, and there we go. There's the extraction.
You are triumphant.
Alright, well, I hope you all enjoyed that full playthrough of Canton, or Welcome to Canton City. Like I said, the map's available to play on PC, and for those of you who can't play it, I hope that you did enjoy this playthrough. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one. You all take care now. See ya.